Oh, good morning, Internet. It is Aaron Poland, the President, CEO, and founder of Spartan Claims, coming to you with episode 3 of the Phalanx Report. Today is January 31st, 2018. It's left you yesterday with what is going to happen leading up to the inspection of your claim. Today we're going to talk about what is actually going to be some of the parts of the inspection that are going to be taking place, kind of who's coming, what to expect. Tomorrow we'll go ahead and jump into the actual inspection, but today I just wanted to break it down a little bit and explain some of the players that are involved in the actual field inspection. Who's coming? We need to figure out when the adjuster calls and set up the inspection. They should introduce themselves as a representative from the insurance company. When they show up, you're going to notice a couple of different things. First of all, focus on their appearance. What do they look like? What do they dress like? What are they driving? If they're driving a really big jacked up pickup truck, or if they're driving what we refer to as the ice cream trucks, they're typically like panel vans or look like construction grade utility vans with ladder racks on them. If they're driving a four-door sedan, if it has any identifying markings, there are a couple of different type of people that are going to be involved in a claim, and every single one of them has their own little niche, their own mindset, their own attitude. The first type that we're going to talk about are going to be the staff adjusters. Staff adjusters are actually people that work for the insurance company. They're on the payroll. They're usually salaried positions. They get benefits, vacation, shareholding, if it's a publicly traded company, stock options, retirement, 401k, normal corporate America type adjusters. They're the ones that are going to drive the ice cream trucks or the four-door sedans. For some reason, most of the insurance companies like to drive Chevy Impalas or Subaru, what do they call those? I don't even know what they're called, the four-door Subaru cars. But so look out for those. Those are staff adjusters. The other type is going to be an independent adjuster. Independents are contract 1099 employees. They're not on a payroll. They typically work for a vendor or firm. There are a few big independent vendors out there. I myself used to be an independent adjuster. Worked for a large independent firm based out of Louisiana. We ran for a very large, very, very, very large insurance company, which will remain nameless for now. But independents, some of them are really good, some of them are really, really, really bad. The firms have a tendency, especially after a large event like a hurricane, massive hailstorm, the wildfires or an earthquake, something on a large scale. The independent firms are kind of notorious for going out, and they will hire just about anybody with a pulse to come out and fulfill the needs of the carriers to meet time frames set out by the departments of insurance or whatever. Another type of adjuster you might run across is a large loss adjuster. If you're dealing with a large commercial property, a fire, massive event where when we made that initial phone call we talked about yesterday, and you've started to give the insurance company an impression that this is not going to be cheap, there's a real good possibility that they're going to send a large loss adjuster out. Generally speaking, the large loss guys that I've dealt with have usually been pretty cool cats. These guys, they've seen it all. They're usually senior level adjusters. You're not going to get a lot of rookie kids out there running large loss claims. But there's a caveat. A lot of times, because they've been around for a long time, they kind of have a little bit of a chip on their shoulder, and that's all right. I kind of respect that. Also, be on the lookout, particularly after a catastrophe event, a hailstorm, a windstorm, hurricane. You may encounter managers and trainers coming out with the adjusters to supervise, keep an eye on the adjusters, kind of playing PR and sharing a little bit of their stories and their reputation on the line to make sure that the brand is well represented or whatever. My experience, a lot of time the managers don't get in the way. Hell, I've even seen them just sit in their car the whole time. They've got obligations they have to fulfill. They're just checking a box a lot of time. They'll go sit in the car and sleep, or conference calls or emails or whatever while the field guy's out doing whatever the field guy does. Trainers, trainers are all right in my book. A lot of times, if you have a good trainer, they're going to try to explain to the newer adjusters, or they're doing co-adjust as well. I don't mind the trainers. They usually don't have any draft authority to write checks or authority to write coverages or anything along those lines. They're just, again, kind of quality control for the insurance companies. And then the last little group of people that are going to be coming out, God forbid, you end up with what we refer to as a ladder assist company. Ladder assist companies are, for lack of better explanation, they're a scapegoat for the insurance companies. Their adjuster, the insurance adjuster may be afraid of the roof or afraid of, the policyholders are new, lazy. They will send out these ladder assist companies, and there's only a couple of them in the country. But these guys coming out, they're not licensed adjusters. They're not engineers. They have zero authority. Their job is to take photos of the property, set up a ladder for the real adjusters, and then get out of the way. Most of the time, they'll have a tendency to really overstep their boundaries. They start acting as adjusters. That's really not good. And if that's something you run across, you need to let your public adjuster know, your contractor, whatever, and there are steps to be taken against that. In that category, the last one I'm going to talk about is the big bad engineer. The insurance companies love sending engineers out. They, again, fall into that scapegoat category of folks that are going to be coming out to your house to do an inspection. Engineers are not, and I'm going to repeat, not the end-all, say-all, know-all, be-all of an insurance claim. They are, if you're lucky, they're a professional engineer. They have a degree in physical engineering or mechanical engineering, maybe forensics engineering, not very often. They think that they are the Lord and Savior Jesus Christ when it comes to insurance claims. In my opinion, most of them are idiots, and they're literally just out here to make themselves look good, grow their own company by denying coverage. They have zero idea about policy. Most of the time, they do not teach Hail 101 in college. So a lot of these engineers wouldn't know what hail was if it fell from the sky and hit them in the face. Don't freak out if the carrier sends an engineer out to your house. There are ways around engineers, and we'll get into that way down the line in these reports. But I just wanted to kind of go over the type of inspectors that the insurance company is going to send out to your property. Let's talk for a second about how these guys get paid. The independent adjusters, they're going to get paid either an a la carte style based on certain criteria on the property. If it's a two-story roof, it's steep, it's got interior damage. If it's got exterior severe like siding, windows, things of that nature. They can also get paid a percentage of the file. I don't see a lot of that anymore. That was kind of a thing back in the 90s and in the 2000s. Especially when I was running claims, a lot of times we were billed off of a percentage of the claim, which actually was a pretty cool program because it incentivized the independent to go out and find covered damage and then estimate for that. And then the last time is not very common anymore. It's a day rate where you just get paid a flat dollar amount to go out and do these claims. The staff adjusters, almost all salary. You're not going to see them hourly. They're not going to be getting bonused or incentivized. There are a lot of misconceptions what staff adjusters do. A lot of people think that they get a bonus for denying claims. I can't say that that's the truth. I couldn't even pretend to verify that. So don't read it. Don't believe everything you see in the media. I know a lot of good staff adjusters, and I know a lot of horrible staff adjusters. And we'll talk about what types of personalities you're going to get with an adjuster here in a second. The one thing to keep in mind with all of the adjusters is most of them are out just trying to do their job. Yeah, you're going to have a couple of them, and it's just like everything else in life. A couple of bad eggs kind of spoil it for everybody else. Bear with some of these guys. A lot of them are just out trying to do their job, and they're puppets, and they've got their evil puppet masters, the managers and the corporate conglomerates going, oh, you're not supposed to pay for this. There are a lot of adjusters out there that think that the money that they're writing on your property is their money. You're not going to get past that mentality. Just go with it. There's ways to combat it. A couple of different attitudes though that you are going to run into, and I've over the years and over the thousands and thousands and tens of thousands at this point claims that we've encountered, I've kind of derived a broad generalization of the types of adjusters you're going to run into. There's a lot of them out there, but I kind of like to break them down when I'm training new people, or if I'm talking to new contractors, or if I'm talking to a homeowner, I'm explaining, hey, this is the type of personality you're going to get. They fall into these categories. You know, the first one I like to call like the hotshot independent adjuster. These guys we refer to them as gunslingers back in the day. They're literally going out and they're trying to hammer out as many files as they can in a given day. Some of these guys, I've seen guys run 15 and 20 inspections a day, very sloppy. It's profitable for them. They make a lot of money doing it, but that's kind of the hot shot. They're not here to talk to you. They're not here to be your friend. They don't want a buddy. They just want to do the claim, get paid, and move on to the next one. If that means buying everything they touch, great. If that means denying everything they touch, that sucks. But they fill their role. They're the ones that are out meeting these time constraints for the Department of Insurance. The ones you really got to look out for, the next category, I like to call little corporate ass kissers. They're drinking the Kool-Aid. They are, I mean, they've got the logo of the insurance company almost tattooed on their forehead. You know, they are towing the line. What their company tells them is the gospel, and they will take it to the gates of hell and back. There's nothing, if you say anything and it doesn't collaborate with a training manual that they saw in their 6-week academy that they did when they got hired by the insurance company to become an adjuster, it's absolutely false. They don't even have a bend but don't break mentality. It's literally just my rules, my checkbook, shut your mouth, this is my show, get out of the way. That's the one you got to really watch out for. The other one, I like to refer to this guy as a crusty old bastard. This is the adjuster that's been around for 20, 30 years, seen it all, done it all. His give a damn flew out the window a long time ago. He doesn't care about anything. He's just grumpy. Don't want to talk to you. Won't even shake your hand or smile. He just walk around like this, like somebody just stepped on his dog. That's kind of a thing of the past. A lot of the insurance companies have phased out some of these crusty old bastard adjusters because they're expensive, especially on the staff side. There's been some really big merges and some migrations of staff in some of the big companies just trying to push the old guard, get them out of the door because they're expensive. They can bring in these 22, 23-year-old kids right out of college, pay them $30,000 a year and tell them to shut up and go do claims. So beware of the crusty old bastard. There's still a couple of them out there, and you know who you are. And then the last category I think is probably the best one to deal with. It's just the cool guy. It's the guy who wants to come out, wants to be your buddy. Oh, here, don't worry about it, man. I'll take care of it. Cool guy. They're not as prominent as they used to be. There's a couple of them floating around here in Indiana, and again, you guys know who you are. That they don't upset the established order. They know just enough to get away with it, but not piss off anybody at the insurance company. Those guys are usually pretty legit. I've seen them all over the country. Every state has their set group of cool guys, and those guys are usually all right. They're going to work with the public adjuster. They're going to work with the contractor. They're going to work with the homeowner. They're going to do everything they can do to find that coverage and apply it properly, write up a solid estimate, and just they're really the bread and butter of the customer service piece of an insurance company. So with any luck at all, you'll get the cool guy, or you'll get the hotshot independent adjuster that's literally just paying for everything. It's easier to decipher through that code than it is the other hotshot that just denies everything. Those get to be kind of messy. So for now, that's the type of adjusters we're running into. Tomorrow on February 1st, we're actually going to break into the individual sections of an inspection, what to expect at the actual inspection, and then moving on after the inspection, some of the steps that can be taken if they need to be taken. So for now, that's it for today. My name is Aaron Poland with Spartan Claims. See you tomorrow.
Spartans! What is your profession?